on the woman. Now, this is a CNN story. On the 48-year-old single mom of a teenage son, just purchased what she was considered, to be affordable insurance from the Washington State Exchange for Obamacare. The president even spoke about her, and we have that. Here, listen to this.
All right, Jessica Sanford was cited by the president as an Obamacare success story at a healthcare event he had here at the White House in the Rose Garden on October 21st. That, of course, being just last month. The 48-year-old single mom from Washington State purchased what she considered to be affordable health care, a life-changing event, she said, on the Washington State Health Exchange, and she decided she was so excited about this news she wanted to write an email to the president to say that this had really changed her life and that she was thankful for the Affordable Care Act. The president included her email in his remarks to people on hand for the event. Here's a bit of what the president had to say.
I recently received a letter from a woman named Jessica Sanford in Washington State. And here's what she wrote. I am a single mom. No child support, self-employed, and I haven't had insurance for 15 years because it's too expensive. I was crying the other day when I signed up. So much stress lifted.
But days, just really 3 days after she was mentioned by the president, Jessica Sanford started having problems. She was receiving letters from the Washington State Health Exchange. The first letter telling her that tax credit was reduced, therefore increasing the cost of her health care plan. And then take a look at this. Then she received a letter just last week telling her that her tax credit had been taken away altogether. Show you another document here showing what the tax credit worked out to be according to the Washington State Health Exchange. $0 according to this document that was provided to us by Jessica Sanford. She describes all of this as a roller coaster ride because now she says she can't afford insurance in Washington State because of these new developments. Here's what she told us in an exclusive TV interview.
It was like riding a big roller coaster. They have my credit card, they have the payment date, and then, once again I'm knocked down, and this time it's to zero. And at my rate of pay with my family size, I just don't understand why I wouldn't get at least a little help with a tax credit. It was a huge disappointment, and especially since I had, my story had been shared by the president, I felt like,
maybe you should get a special
I just felt really embarrassed that, he had quoted my story.
Yeah.
And then come to find that the Washington Health Plan Finder, the website here in our state, had grossly miscalculated, or they're having a problem figuring their tax credits.
Yeah. Who'd guess?
And
quite a long shot.
So at least for right now, I'm not going to be getting insurance.
So her insurance went from $169 a month to $198 to $280. That was for the gold plan they offered. Then she looked around, found the silver plan for $390 per month. So even more. And then the cheaper bronze plan was $324 per month, but with a high deductible and also way more than she could afford. So she's got no insurance now.
And then she got this letter. I love the quote. Your household has been determined eligible for a federal tax credit of $0.00 to help cover the cost of your monthly health insurance premium payments.
So that's a lot of help. $0.00. Thank you for the help.
Thank you for
help
that.
there.
Isn't that amazing?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
There's another great one, a guy who writes for The Observer. He's a supporter of Obamacare and the president. Says old monthly premium $578 for a family of four. New premium $1123, 94% increase. The website allowed this guy to find a plan that looked reasonable. Finally got to cut down to only $889 a month. He writes, okay, not so bad. Downside, $3,600 more in annual premiums. Upside, free eyeglasses for the boy. Then he writes,
I have a hard time having sympathy for somebody like that.
I do too.
If you want the free eyeglasses,
well, I think
for $3,800.
I think he's mocking there.
Oh, okay, good.
It's a mocking tone throughout.
Yeah.
All right.
But I have a hard time having any sympathy because he was a supporter.
Yeah, and he actually acknowledges that in here. Like it's essentially his fault.
We tried to tell you.
We all learn at different speeds.
Right. He gets to the part where
no, seriously, Pat. I mean, you said to me for a long time, Glenn, it's not hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And I was like, whatever. And I had to go down that road of being completely stupid and destroy my life before I was ready to listen to the truth.
All right,
let's welcome people in. Oh, geez, for the love of it.
That's soothing.
I know, Mahatma. Muhammad Glendy is back.
He is. He is back this week.
It's good.
It's good to see.
All right.
All right.
The writer goes on to say he gets to the monthly income part of signing up, and he stops because it asks him for monthly income. He says, what month? He's a freelance writer. For that matter, which year? Do you want gross, net, before self-employment tax, Social Security payments, or after? Adjusted gross income from last year's 1040. I went to a friend and colleague. He had the individual policy canceled because of Obamacare as well. I'm stuck on the same question, income. I got through the exchange, and the woman there told me to just estimate what my income would be this year. In other words, make it up. If he overestimated, he'd be screwing himself out of a subsidy. If he underestimated, he'd be hit with a big fat bill. He also wasn't sure if he would be accused of fraud. So he called an accountant who's also a lawyer. That got him only so far. At a certain point in the conversation, the accountant lawyer had to get off the phone. Quote, I have to stop answering your questions. I can't ethically advise you because honestly, I don't know the right thing to do. Nobody does. There are no answers. Right now, it's a complete cluster.
Okay, here's the thing. There is an answer, and it is always the same answer. No matter if it hurts you in the short run, the truth is the only answer you can ever give. You cannot play into the game. This is what they're trying to do. They get you to violate one thing, and you'll violate a string of them. You don't become a bad guy quickly. You become a bad guy in a series of errors. And once you make one, then you make another one, and then you make another one, and then make another one. And before you know, you're compromised into oblivion. Don't do it. Don't do it. Tell the truth. Always tell the truth. It's never going to work to your favor, with what they're setting up, because what they're setting up is nothing but a pile of lies.
Well, and it sounds like this guy's trying to tell the truth. He just doesn't know what the truth is because he's estimating the truth, and then he'll be penalized for it if he doesn't get it exactly right. This is such a mess.
It's such a mess.
It's such an unbelievable mess.
And then even if he tries to tell the truth, what happens to him? What happens to him? He's penalized?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, gang. No. You have nothing to worry about because you haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
I have nothing to worry about. If you have something to worry about, well,
what do I care if they're watching me?
What do I care if they're watching me? If they're listening to me? If they have my health records?
This is the problem with that.
If they have my financial records, I'm not doing anything wrong. Are you? You don't know if you're doing anything wrong
because you're not the judge of that.
That's right. There is no truth anymore. When there is no truth, when our government and when our lives are not centered on eternal truth and common sense, then anybody's the judge, and all bets are off. You become a nation of equality, which leads you with socialism to National Socialism or communism, where everybody's equal, just some people are more equal than others. It's not equality. It is all men are created equal. Equality doesn't exist. The creation of equal beings does. But then it is incumbent on you on what do you do with your opportunity that you've been given.